Passing IELTS academic writing is very easy. In the previous video, we have seen some tips on how to write an ideal band 9 academic writing. So in this video, I intend to show you a practical writing task. I'll take you through the rudiments of how you can write your own essay and get band 9 even your writing task. In this video, we want to see an ideal band 9 essay, particularly academic writing task 1, and we are starting right now. Welcome to Lucid English TV. Learn how to write crisply, speak confidently, and pass excellently. In this video, we want to see again an ideal band 9 essay, academic writing task 1. We are going to be working with the last activity that was given even in the last video. Why so many people have turned in their own attempts. Some people send theirs through email, while some were able to drop it directly to me on WhatsApp. We appreciate that, and that's very impressive to know that okay, you're out there practicing everything that's been taught, even here at Lucid English TV. We won't relent your comments and commendation. Keep us going, and we are proud of that. Now let's see what we have for today. The tourist island before and after. So this is the diagram we are given. The diagrams show an island before and after the addition of tourist facilities. Summarize the information in the maps and make comparison where appropriate. So definitely you already know what you should do. Number one, you have to summarize the information in the maps, and two, that's the second one, make comparison where appropriate. Let's quickly have a recap of what we did in the last video. One, while giving out the tips, we mentioned that the first thing you should know is you have to deploy a descriptive language. Remember, you are describing the image you have been given, the diagram you have been given, the graph you have been given, such that somebody who has not seen the image before can have an image of it in mind, and it looks exactly as what you saw when you wrote that essay. Another thing is, make your introduction thesis. Your introduction don't have to be too long. It must not be too long. Rarely should you have two sentences. It is expected that you have just one sentence, and your one sentence should just capture everything the diagram you have been provided with is all about. Number three, describe the aspect of the data considered most important. There are some things that you must mention, and as we continue, I'm going to show you that. Of course, your first paragraph must be your introduction, and your introduction must be indented, of course, very short. So that can just be like the diagrams present an island of about 500 meters before and after it was developed into a tourist resort. Okay, good. Let's move on. So that's just enough to be your first paragraph, your introduction. It must not be lengthy. Go straight to the point. Through development of the island. It was and it only few palm trees there. There was also a beach on the northern part of the island. Okay, so you remember the question says you make comparison where necessary. So with that, we can come in with an appropriate transition. However, so just want to say something different. After being developed, there is a pair and reception center on the southern shore of the island. Full stop. Some ferries, because you have to be very descriptive. Some ferries, appropriate words too, vocabulary related to shore, beach, sea. Some ferries have been equally provided for transportation, see that? Transportation to the island. Of course, not only for transportation and for leisure, you must mention that. It's very important. So you make it short. Beach. Well, there is a small park. You can see that adjective there, because that's what we can see on the western side of the reception center, a restaurant. For consistency, full stop. Okay, the island as children's possessive playground and 6 birds on its. Okay, we have described the western, the east. You can see how description is being done here. It's very easy to get by 9. Surrounded by trees. Okay. In addition, okay, on the western end of the on its turn end of the island. You can see that very easy. Come out there, 8. You just count them very fast, so you can be very specific near the beach. This area serves as what? As accommodation. Just watch your spelling for those who visit AI. Good. Here we have 159 words. 159 words. We just confirm that, and it is just what you need to get your band 9. Now, why do you think this should give you an advanced score? Very easy. Let's see some things here. 1, it is descriptive, and 2, you can see the manner of presentation. Concord is diagram between subject and verb. Accurate. The diagrams present. You can see diagrams present an island of about 500 meters before and after it was developed into a tourist center. Tourist resort. That is everything diagram is all about, and that has been captured in the introduction. Okay, in the second paragraph we have prior to development of the island, it was empty, unpopulated, and it had only few palm trees scattered on it. There was also a beach on the northern part of the island. You can see how words are used here, because we're talking about a map, we're talking about the description of an island. That is why these words are considered, accurate, they are considered appropriate vocabulary, registers related to maps. And when you want to describe places, of course, you use the cardinal point to describe places, and that's why northern, southern, western, and eastern are used here hugely just to describe, because we are talking about places and location, especially when it comes to you talking about a map here. However, after being developed, that's where we're making the comparison now, and you can see how this transition word has been used appropriately. However, you can see that. Another thing is after being developed. That's another thing. And you can see how another thing you should note is the use of commas there to enclose this. There is a pair and reception center on the southern shore. You can see, look at the word shore, another accurate vocabulary. It paints a mental picture, and it is quite descriptive. Some ferries, that's another vocabulary, have been equally, that's another transition words there, just to show that there is a connection. We are trying to maintain coherence between our sentences or among our sentences in a paragraph, and to be sure that no sentence is standing alone. Provided for transportation on the island, the same way the essay is descriptive, is the same way it's quite narrative, because it is just stating their function for transportation to the island and for leisure on the beach. Why that is, you can see one thing you should know: if you want to get an advanced score, you must write like an advanced user of the language. An advanced user will vary their sentences. Rather than using just simple sentences, you can make use of compound sentences and, of course, complex sentences. Perhaps one of these days we'll come up with videos of functional and structural types of sentences. While there is a small park on the western side, you can see the western side here of the prayer and reception. I talked about having a center of focus when you want to make your description. You can see that the word prayer and reception here is being repeated over time in this presentation. That's because it was emphasized in the diagram. If you go back to the diagram, you see that it is at the center, okay, and that is why you have to consider it, as a point of your description. So you can use the southern side of it, you can use the northern side of it, just to describe. So whoever wants to use your own essay to draw a typical diagram like that will come up with the same thing, if not perfectly close. It should be 95%. So why then won't you get your band 9? It's all yours. And reception center, a restaurant and a leisure center, is at the north side of the island. The island has a children's playground and 6 huts on its eastern end, surrounded by trees. In addition, on the western end of the island, there are 8 huts near the beach. These areas serve as accommodation for those who visit the island. That's all. That's all you need. You do not need a conclusion. This is just all you need to get your band 9 in IELTS Academic Task 1. It is quite challenging, but it's not impossible. You have to pay the price. You have to write like an advanced user of the language. Till we meet again in the next video. If you have any comments, you can drop it in the comment section. If you have any questions, to do the same. And if you need some clarification, you can reach out to us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Welcome to Lucid English TV.